To be honest, I want Dwayne The Rock Johnson on my zombie apocalypse squad. End of the day, I feel like I could outrun him if need be, and he'll probably keep the zombies filled up for a little bit.
Okay, it's a very ambitious claim that you'll be able to outrun The Rock. You must be freaking Usain Bolt.
Angelina Jolie, because she's tough and she can fight and she's really nice and beautiful.
Maybe she puts on the Maleficent costume and she just scares all the zombies away.
Surely I have to pick Elon Musk. He has tons of resources, tons of people on his side, and he's already crazy enough to believe it's going to happen anyway.
Over The Rock, though, I'm not sure.
I would pick an action star like Chris Evans, because I feel like with all of his movie training, he's got to know a thing or two about fighting. And also, if you look at his Twitter feed, he's actually a really funny guy, and it's important to have entertainment on the road.
He's Captain America. Need I say more?
Keanu Reeves. Have you seen that man in John Wick? His fighting style, he knows how to use guns, he knows how to do everything. Plus, in real life, he's a pretty good person, so I know he would help me a lot.
Really good choice.
I would choose Zac Efron as my right-hand man. I loved him since High School Musical, Disney era. I love him now. He can do literally anything.
Bet on it. But this is such a good list of celebrities, a good variety. Who do you think had the best celebrity choice? You can vote now in chat by typing vote space and the number of the answer you loved the most, and you can send that person to the final round to compete to be the weekly champion. I think people were talking in the chat about how Elon Musk would be very selfish and untrustworthy, and you make a good point. Oh, so Keanu Reeves takes the cake. Keanu Reeves, you always hear about how good of a person he is, how he's such a good fighter, how he's very smart. So congratulations, Kool-Aid. We will see you in the final round. Now it's time to move on to your own answers, because we have a poll for this question. What celebrity would you want on your zombie apocalypse survival squad? Are you choosing someone muscular like The Rock, a genius like Neil deGrasse Tyson, someone funny like J-Law, Jennifer Lawrence, or a weapons master? There's a lot of good options here. Of course, it helps to have someone who can just take on anything, someone who can punch the zombies and really have it pack a punch. Although weapons master is underappreciated, because if you have like a good sword or a gun, it's kind of game over. But now let's move on to the next question of the week, because we got a lot of celebrities to talk about. Okay, this is the question from Saturday. Who was your first celebrity crush? Wow. Who was your first celebrity crush? First celebrity crush is like, for many people, that's the first time that they really think about like romance. That's the first crush period for many people. So it definitely can make a huge difference. I think for me, I have two. There's two. So the first one, I would say, actually, I'll do one. It was Dylan O'Brien. Remember when I was younger, I would see like edits of him or like clips of him from Teen Wolf. And I feel like that, but also specifically, it was that movie, The Internship, where he plays alongside Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn. And he does like an internship at Google. And I saw him, and he was like dressed as sort of like a nerd with the glasses and sort of a snarky attitude. And I was like, hey, that's kind of cute. So definitely I would say Dylan O'Brien. And he's aged like fine wine. He is still super attractive today. So I think I have good taste. But that's just me. I think we have a lot of really good celebrity crushes in store for you all. So I turn it over to you, fans. Who was your first celebrity crush?
My first celebrity crush, throwing it back to the late 90s, early 2000s, was Jonathan Taylor Thomas, especially when he starred in Home Improvement with Tim Allen. Unfortunately, I'm now in a relationship with a woman, so don't think it would have worked out in the long run, but still have a definite soft spot for JTT.
Hey, isn't it funny how that just happens sometimes? I did not really grow up on Home Improvement with Jonathan Taylor Thomas, but I can definitely see like being a young person and seeing like a very cute young person and be like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I'll take your word for it, Alexis, JTT icon.
Without a doubt, Aaron Carter was my first celeb crush. His concert was the first I ever went to in 4th grade, and his song I Want Candy was my anthem for like 3 full years of my life. Rest in peace, Aaron. You are greatly missed.
Oh, Yeah, R.I.P. Aaron Carter. I also was not a huge Aaron Carter fan, but it strikes me that this is like stuff that'll appeal to like the kids who grew up in the 90s. So I think a little bit before my time, unfortunately.
My first celebrity crush, I would have to say, was Harrison Ford. What Lies Beneath? He's laying in the bed with Michelle Pfeiffer. He's kind of like sitting there on his laptop or reading a book or something. And I don't know how old he was there, probably mid 40s or 50s, but dude was ripped. And I was like, okay, I like that.
Thirsty. Yeah, I mean, between Han Solo, Indiana Jones, there's so many different roles that Harrison Ford has been in, and he has just tore up the screen, chewed up the scenery, and just, gave people a lot of feelings, let's say. But yeah, Harrison Ford is an incredible choice, starting off strong with that first celebrity crush.
My first celebrity crush was Jonathan Taylor Thomas from Home Improvement. And I had my entire bedroom wall just like completely covered in photos and things that I got from magazines that I convinced my parents to buy. And I haven't admitted this, but I may have been known for kissing a poster or two in my time. Good old 12-year-old tabs.
Kissing a poster or two. I thought they only did that in like the teen movies. I didn't know people actually did that. But that's count them. That's 2 votes for Jonathan Taylor Thomas. There's just something about JTT from Home Improvement that had people feeling some kind of way, I guess.
Seth Rogen and Jonah Hill, since before I could remember.
Oh, okay. 2 very good options. I feel like 2 very funny people. Jonah Hill has, he's been in some drama I've seen, but Seth Rogen, he's cute. I think he's a really great option. And like I said, both incredibly funny people. So if you're a person who likes good humor on a guy or someone, they're both really good options.
So my first celebrity crush was Matty B. Raps. And at the time, I think he was a really popular person for kids that age to have a crush on. So yeah, I don't think it's very unordinary.
Okay, so I sense that given our age range, there's going to need to be some context. Matty B. Raps is a YouTuber who got famous for his music. So if you want to feel old today, just remember, not only are there celebrities that are being generated from social media apps like YouTube, there are now people who are in their teens who first had crushes, who like had their first crush on these YouTubers. That's, for me, that just was mind-blowing. So I'm going to let people sit with that for a second. And in the meantime, I will also let you vote, because we have some really good celebrity crushes here, some from TV, some from movies, some music, some social media stars. But now it's time to vote for which crush you understand, which crush you appreciate the most. You can vote for your favorite crush by typing vote space or V space and the number of the answer you love the most. And you can send them to the final round. And looking through the chat, I see a couple of people have also sent their crushes there. We have Lucy Lawless, Alicia Vikander. Oh, I love Alicia Vikander. Alicia Vikander's from some things. Oh, Harrison Ford is the winner. Mr. Han Solo, Mr. Indiana Jones, an icon of the big screen, and Bartimus's first crush ever. Bartimus, this was an amazing answer. I completely agree, and I cannot wait to see you duke it out with everyone else in the final rounds. I think Harrison Ford is a good celebrity to enter into really any sort of question with, so you have a good chance. But now we'll move on to our poll. Yes, we turn it over to you, and we ask you, fans, which of these celebrities was your first crush? Is it a Scarlett Johansson, an actress in Marvel playing Black Widow? Is it Michael B. Jordan? Very understandable. Was it Brad Pitt, another famous icon and star? Ooh, Scarlett Johansson comes out on top. Yes. Yes, she is an incredible actress. She is so talented. And also, she's very attractive. Also, Halle Berry coming in second. Yes. I mean, she is an Oscar winner. She is glamorous. Yes, she had a little bit of a misstep with Catwoman, but I think Scarlett Johansson and Halle Berry are both extremely talented, very cool people. So I can see why they came out on top in the end. Well, this was another incredible question. Thank you all so much for giving us your answers and for being so vulnerable with your celebrity crushes. I say now we move on to our next question of the week from Sunday. Ooh, okay. So we've covered the zombie apocalypse. We have covered the romance of your first crush. And now we're getting academic. We're asking if you could start a celebrity book club, who's in it and what are you reading? Now, I know that this is a question for all the book talkers out there. I think you could either have someone who's like very fun to have conversations with, someone with good insight. I think for me, there are two people I would want in my book club for sure, and they are Lupita Nyong'o and Nicola Coughlan, from Bridgerton. I think those two people. Nicola is extremely funny, but she also just like has really great insight and a really good outlook on life. And then Lupita Nyong'o, she is just like, I feel like she just has such an amazing perspective on things. I think the movies that she's in, I absolutely love her acting that she does, but she also chooses very good movies to be in. So I would love to sort of hear just like the things that she talks about. I don't know. I think those two would have a lot to say, some really good conversation in there. But maybe that's just me. We'll see, because we also have some answers to this question. So now I think it's the time to turn it over to you fans and ask if you could start a celebrity book club, who's in it? Oh, and then what are we reading? Oh, I'll get back to you on that after these answers.
If I could start a celebrity book club, I think I'd want to do one with Hayao Miyazaki from Studio Ghibli, because he made a movie called The House Moving Castle based on a book called House Moving Castle, and I would love to look at the book with him and see what his process was in adapting it, because I think that's kind of one of the best adaptations from book to movie I've ever seen.
Very good option. I feel like this one is obviously very motivated. It's not just like, oh, I want to have a discussion. It's like, I want to pick your brain specifically. So maybe this is like a less a book club and more like an interview. Still though, good choice.
What celebrity would you like to have in your book club? As a Green Bay Packers fan, I would like our former beloved quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, to be in my book club. He used to do something like that back in Green Bay when he used to live there. Now that my man's injured, he's got more time. We could start up a book club, dude. Let's do it. And what am I reading right now? It's a book called In the Best Interests. Got this from a buddy of mine named Tim Hind, self-published, and actually, it's a very good read. So check it out. In the Best Interest, Tim Hind. Aaron Rodgers, hit me up for a book club.
Okay, so I'm really glad he's taking the opportunity to promote his favorite book. Love it. Aaron Rodgers. I'm not really much of a sports person, to be honest. So I think I know Aaron Rodgers though. He seems cool, right? Yeah. I support you, Brett. I think that's a really good choice.
I would choose Trevor Noah as my book buddy, because I'm actually reading his book Born a Crime now, and seeing him maneuver his way out of life through self-deprecating really inspired me, as well as a mix. And I hope through this way I could understand his ideology a little more.
That is such a good choice. For some reason, my mind didn't even go to the comedians or the late night hosts. Trevor Noah is such a good option. Talk about perspective. He's literally written an entire book about his life. So that would be, another great option for a good interview, but definitely a good book club. Benjamin, amazing choice.
Well, we're going to start with reading my favorite book of all time, which is The Hobbit. And I don't know everyone I would want in the book club, but I definitely would want Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, because those two are hilarious. Maybe Jake Gyllenhaal too. Those three, pretty funny together, and I feel like any topic of conversation is just going to turn into a back and forth of comedy. And I think that sounds like a fun book club.
It so does. Honestly, yeah, I would want to do a book club with them for sure. I think those three would also be great for like, I would want to do like an audiobook. I would want to listen to them read The Hobbit and do the different characters. That would be extremely fun. Sign me up for that.
If I could do a celebrity book club right now, there would only be one person invited, and that person would be head coach Bill Belichick. And what would the book we'd be reading? Well, it's called How to Build an Offensive Line. I don't know if that is a book. Maybe I'll be the one to write it. But yeah, Bill Belichick. And we're reading How to Build an Offensive Line.
Okay, so this seems less like a book club and more like opportunity to rant. This is just like you give him a study guide and you're like, okay, I want you to take notes on who you put in each position, and I want you to come back to me on this day, and I want you to tell me what you've learned. This seems very pointed. Elijah, do what you got to do. Bill Belichick, step your game up. Come on.
Okay, so I would invite Prince Harry. And then it's a toss-up because he's got a book out, but so does his wife, Meghan. So I think I would go with the controversial choice, which is Meghan's book. Purely so then I can question him about what he thinks about certain aspects that she's written or fact check it. It'd be super awkward, but I think it'd be really fun.
Okay, so now this is less a book club and more of like a prisoner's dilemma type interrogation, where it's like you'll read Harry's book and fact check it with Meghan, where you read Meghan's book and fact check it with Harry, just to make sure that we're all like on the same page about all the royal drama. But yeah, I feel like I want to read those books just to learn about all of the inside tea, because we have The Crown, but that's a little fictional. So I want it like straight from the source, like unfiltered, like not filtered through like producers and screenwriters. I want it fresh off the press. You know, I want the cold hard facts. Well, this is such an incredible set of answers. I don't know what book club you all are going to choose. Honestly, just put them all in the book club and we'll read these books one by one. But for now, you can only pick one. You can vote by typing vote space and then the number of the answer you loved in the chat. And you'll send them to the final round to be this week's QOTD Weekly Champion. Okay, so we got a good variety here. We've got some very deliberate and pointed matchups of like book and celebrity. We also just have like people you'd want to meet, which, listen, I empathize with that. I get it. Yeah. Hayao Miyazaki, Howl's Moving Castle. Yes, I think that's a great option. I mean, he's a renowned filmmaker. So you really can't go wrong with I'd really just like any book, because he's going to have some good perspective on it. You know, he's an amazing storyteller, has such a vivid imagination. I feel like, when you're talking fiction with anyone, you'd want to talk with Hayao. So thank you so much, Hannah, for your answer. We will see you in the final round. Now we turn over to you. If you could start a celebrity book club, which celebrity would you want in it? Are you doing Tim Cook, Emma Watson, Margot Robbie, or Mark Hamill? Ooh. So Luke Skywalker himself. Honestly, these are all really great options. All of them feel like they would bring a really good perspective into the conversation. Oh, okay. So we got Margot Robbie. Yeah. I mean, I think she has more than proven herself to be like such an incredible actress, such an amazing perspective on just art and media and entertainment. I mean, especially like that last Barbie movie. I would love to you know what I'd love to do? I'd love to have us read that photo book that was released of all of like the outfits from the press tour. And I would love to like hear her describe each one. I think that would be such a fun thing to do. But that is an amazing answer. Thank you all so much for giving your answers. I did say I was going to choose a book at the end of this. Well, I would want to do like a classic, I think. Like I would want to read like a Brave New World or like a 1984, because I read those books in school and it was nice to like read them in school. But I feel like it was just very boring to have the discussion. So I'd want to have redo those discussions with Lupita Nyong'o, Nicola Coughlan, and I'm adding a new one into the mix, John Oliver. I'd talk about joke teller. He's so funny, and I would love to hear everything that he would have to say, especially from the news perspective. I feel like that'd be cool. But that is such a great academic conversation. Thank you all so much for your answers. I'd say we move right along to our question from Monday. Ooh, okay. So now we're shifting the conversation a little bit from talking about celebrities to talking about your bid to be a celebrity. Oh, sorry, you missed the poll. I'm sorry about that. Yes, we have. Unfortunately, we do have ads sometimes. But yeah, so we're talking about how you would want to rise to fame. If you got to be a celebrity, what would you like to be famous for? And there's so many different avenues that you can take. I mean, you can take the classic like actor or model. I mean, now with social media, you can claim your 15 minutes of fame and try to capitalize on that by being like a viral meme. I think for me though, I would want to go like sort of the old fashioned route. I feel like I'd want to be an actor and be in a movie and rise to fame that way. Or I would want to be known for like my fashion because I feel like I've really upped my dressing up game. And so I feel like it would be really cool to be known as sort of like an uh not really like a fashion icon, but just like someone who people are like, oh, he's really well dressed. I think that'd be really cool. But that's just my options. I think there's a few people out there who agree with me, but let's see what the fans say. So now, fans, I ask you, if you could be famous for anything, what would you be famous for?
I'm an actor, so of course, I will be famous for acting.
Of course. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, being an actor, it seems like a lot of fun. I mean, it definitely would be difficult depending on what type of actor you are. Like, if you're known for being a character actor, I think it would be harder to rise to fame. But if you're like someone like Ryan Reynolds or Ryan Gosling, who sort of like plays a certain personality in all those movies, that's what you want to do.
If I got to be a celebrity, I would like to be famous for, something that Mr. Beast does. Giving away a lot of money, doing cool contests, and just entertaining stuff. I think that's just the most awesome thing. He's probably one of my favorite celebrities at the moment.
Yeah, no, Mr. Beast is really cool. I wonder where does he get all that money from? Because he's always talking about like the winner of this like game that I'm doing gets like $100,000, a new Lamborghini. I'm just like, where does he get all these prizes from? I don't know, Alan. Maybe when you rise to that level of fame of Mr. Beast, you can tell us sort of where he gets all of his goods from.
If I got to be a celebrity, it will be I'll be famous for cooking. So a celebrity chef. I love cooking. I love eating and everything about bistro or gastronomy. Going to different restaurants. Trying new recipes from all around the world. So definitely a celebrity chef.
Very yummy. Yeah, I'm always so impressed by these chefs and their ability to like combine all of these different flavors and be able to like make something so delicious and conceptual and high end. I know we are always discussing food on the show, even if we're not trying to. But Annabelle, that is such an incredible option. Celebrity chef. It sounds insanely difficult. So if you can get there, I support you.
I'd say being I guess a producer for music, that'd be nice to be famous, I guess, for that. Maybe I like Kanye, I don't know. Except without the crazy, I'd say, but he's awesome. So as far as the music is concerned.
Yeah, I feel like everyone talks about being like a singer or a songwriter, like Taylor Swift. But honestly, if you're a producer, you control so much of like how music sounds. For me, I'm like, sometimes I can't even understand the lyrics, but if it has good production, I'm like, this song is great. So yeah, definitely, if that's a very impressive skill to be able to develop. Rex Wando, I wish you a lot of luck.
Probably being a superstar athlete, playing basketball for the NBA.
Ooh, that's cool. Yeah, I feel like athlete, I mean, that's another one where it's like you have to train immensely hard to be able to like make it to the NBA or the NFL, make it to the Olympics. It definitely will take a lot of training and a lot of hard work. But then you get to like be on the court, you get to have all these brand deals like with Nike and stuff. Honestly, and then maybe if you can like get to a Simone Biles level where you are one of the greatest of all time, forget about it. Done. That's the goal.
If I got to be a celebrity, I would definitely want to be one of those mid-tier celebrities that did work with period dramas. I geek out on those, like Rain, Bridgerton. Obviously, everyone loves Bridgerton, but I would love to just be like a smaller, still famous actress that gets to wear those gowns and travel and go to these castles, like every girl's dream. So yeah, I'd want to be famous for being able to act.
Yes, specifically in period. I support that because those outfits, they are always so like regal and glorious, and then you get to talk in like those fun posh British accents. Although I will say those seem like hard to maintain. Like being in those costumes for like hours a day on set, you better hope that it's like cool so you're not like overheating. But yeah, that seems like such a fun time, such a specific genre, and also like all the fancy pastries. I could go on. But yeah, Sonia, I see where you're coming from. Well, these are some really incredible options, a lot of potential celebrities here in a variety of different fields, honestly. I'm kind of impressed. But now we turn it over to you fans to vote for which answer you loved the most. You can vote for your favorite answer by typing vote space and then the number of the answer you loved in chat, and you can send them to the final rounds. Yeah, obviously, I'm pretty partial to Sonia and Ali because they were acting. But a lot of other people were choosing some very impressive fields, like music production, like cooking, athletics, especially. I wish you all luck. I mean, it's so fun. Yeah, I mean, with shows like Bridgerton out there, it's definitely period dramas are definitely very popular. I feel like they're always sort of in production. I feel like those are just very, and you also said like mid-tier. I feel like I'm thinking about like Downton Abbey, like all of those actors where it's like you do one of those shows, you wear all the fancy gowns, you get to like ride around in the carriages, walk around in all those pretty fields. And then you're just like, you get to go on red carpets and you're like always known as that character. That's another side of it that I think is very cool. But Sonia, we wish you the most luck. Hope that your resume gets out there, and we look forward to seeing you on Bridgerton season 4. But for now, fans, we turn it over to you with our poll question. If you could be famous, what would you like to be famous for? Would you want to be famous for singing your heart out? Would you want to be famous as a dancer? Would you want to be a comedian, or would you want to be a model? Gigi Hadid or Bella Hadid? A lot of good options. Singer. Oh, singer and comedian are tied. Honestly, that is both of those things seem like very difficult areas to get into because they're so based on like live performance. Especially like as a comedian, it takes a lot of not just work, but just like putting yourself out there, exposing yourself, and especially being ready to fail. Whenever you hear comedians talk, they're like, I have to like do so many different shows. I have to bomb a couple of times. And then finally I get enough material that's good that I can make my break. And also just for singers being like having to put on a consistently good performance, always having to like protect your voice. Both a lot of hard work, but QOTDers, I definitely support you. And I know that once you get there, it'd be very cool. Well, this was another incredible question. Thank you all so much for your responses. Now it's time for the next question. Let's move on. Ooh, okay, so we're switching it up a little bit. So we've been talking a lot about celebrities, and some of the biggest celebrities in the world are musicians. So we're asking you, if heaven were a concert venue, if you could, go up to heaven at the pearly gates, you see that you have to like give them your ticket, and then you're like, you see a stage and everything. Who's on that stage performing? I think for me, I have two options. One is a very recent celebrity, a very recent musician, and that's Chappell Roan. I feel like she has a lot of really good music, a really great stage presence, so I would love to see her. And then we can't have this conversation without talking about Beyonce. I mean, Beyonce her music is so incredible. She has such a good stage presence. Just you can't say really anything bad about Beyonce performance. So I would love to just see those two people on that stage tearing it up. I think that'll be life-changing. But that's just me. I know that a lot of people have a lot of different tastes beyond pop music. So I turn it over to you fans. If heaven were a concert venue, who would you want to be playing?
If heaven was a concert venue, who would be playing? Definitely old Bay Area thrash metal bands. So Slayer, and Testament, and some, down south, some Megadeth, and then probably some death metal bands. You'd have Meshuggah and In Flames, Lamb of God. So definitely it'd be like a festival of heavy metal music.
I love these names. It's like what was it? In Flames, Megadeth. Those names are wild. I've never heard of those bands, but I mean, that sounds like it would be a very intense concert. Have fun.
Got to be the Beatles, right? I mean, they did say they were more popular than Jesus. My only question about that is, do we have to wait for Paul and Ringo to join George and John up in heaven, or can we have the concert like now?
That's a good question. I think for the sake of this question, it can be living or dead. I think it's just like if it's a musician or a musical group that you really love, then they can be performing. But the Beatles, I mean, one of the, if not the most famous band of all time, so many hits that you could play. There's just no way that you would have a bad Beatles concert.
I would say Dolly Parton, because every time that I listen to her album, listen to her voice, just kind of reminds me of the good old days that I'm in my grandparents' place.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, Dolly Parton. We talk about a discography. I mean, so many good songs you could play. A live performance of Jolene, 9 to 5. So good. Oh, I Will Always Love You. A Dolly Parton performance would be so incredible.
So obviously, if heaven is a concert venue, we're talking about musicians who are dead, right? So there are a ton that who would be playing, and I think they'd be playing all the time. We're talking about John Lennon. We're talking about David Bowie. We're talking about Elvis Presley. We're talking about all these all-time greats. Mozart. We're talking about Prince. People who are into crappy music. Kurt Cobain might be there.
Not Kurt Cobain catching strays at the end there. I mean, he's a good musician. How dare you, Elijah? But that's honestly something that I didn't think about Mozart. Not just like modern day celebrities who you love and you would like to see again, but like people that you never would have had the chance to see, like Mozart, like Beethoven. Because I feel like seeing one of those symphonies, maybe even conducted by the two or the person who wrote it, that would be really incredible to watch.
Heaven were a concert venue, who would be playing? In no particular order. It would be a festival. It wouldn't just be one artist. It'd be a festival for sure. And that festival would include Bob Marley, Prince, Jimi Hendrix, Mac Miller, Nirvana, I guess Kurt Cobain, find somebody else to play the other two parts, and Amy Whitehouse, and who's my last one? Jim Morrison. It's a festival. Heaven's a music festival.
Oh my God. I mean, that was just a who's who of who are iconic musicians, especially like Amy Winehouse. You mentioned Prince in there. I mean, that would be an unmissable Coachella lineup. I'm not going to lie.
If heaven were a concert venue, who was playing? I was just kind of thinking about this other day, but Michael Jackson passed, and so is Prince. I'd probably have them do like a collaborative kind of concert there. I know they didn't seem like they were really fond of each other, but I feel like that might make things a little awkward, and they try to upstage each other. And plus, too, you could have like anybody else who has passed away in the last like 100 years being like the musicians or somebody playing the drums. Like, I would have an amazing concert. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it would be like the Coldplay Super Bowl performance that had like Beyonce and Bruno Mars and all those different guest stars. That would be really fun. But a collaboration between Michael Jackson and Prince, I mean, that's like the ultimate collaboration, I feel like. And I feel, they might have bad blood, but I feel like if you're in heaven, if you're at this concert venue, I feel like you can leave all of that stuff at the door, maybe have some like friendly competition. But I feel like then it's like, for the sake of the music and for the sake of a good performance, they would put it all behind them. Crossing my fingers. Well, this was an incredible set of answers, some really incredible lineups. I would love to go see any of these concerts, but unfortunately, we can only go and see one. So vote for your favorite answer in chat and send that answer to the final round to compete to be this week's champion. I don't know who I'm going to choose. There was a lot of really good ones in here, and a lot of people who listed like multiple of them. So it's really just a matter of like whose vibes you like better, because you really can't go wrong with any of these. Yeah, Kurt Cobain mentioned twice though. That's pretty funny. Oh, we have a winner coming in. Let's see. Okay, nice. Congratulations, Benjamin. I'll be honest, we went through so many artists. I'm just trying to remember which answers he said. But yeah, this was a really good answer, Benjamin. Honestly, all of the answers were really good, so I don't think you could have chosen wrong, audience. But Benjamin, we will see you in the final round, and you will compete to be the weekly champion. So congratulations again. Now, fans, I turn it over to you. Which artist would you want to see in heaven if they were playing at a concert? Would it be the Beatles, Michael Jackson, Taylor Swift, or the Spice Girls? Wow, some really good options here. I mean, we've already talked about the Beatles and Michael Jackson. I feel like Taylor Swift already sort of had her concert. The Beatles. Yeah, I feel like the Beatles makes a lot of sense because it's like they have what, like so many decades of like incredible music, one of the most well-reviewed bands of all time. They're still, honestly, I think a couple months ago they released a song, so they are still pretty active. But yeah, I don't think you could go wrong with the Beatles at all. They have a storied history. They have so much music. Also solo, maybe they could each take a moment to do one of their solo songs. That set list would be truly unrivaled in just music, period. So great choice, everyone. I think now we can move right along to our next question. This is Wednesday's question. Okay, so if we're talking about celebrities, we got to talk about nepotism babies. And this question talks about that. If you were a celebrity kid, who would you want your parents to be? I mean, if you were a nepotism baby, I think that would open so many doors. And there are so many great celebrity couples out there, both that already exist, and I think that could hypothetically exist. I think this is a great chance to mix and match. I think I'm going to take the mixing and matching route, honestly. And I would say, for my mom, I want Cate Blanchett, and for my dad, I'd want John Krasinski, because John Krasinski is hilarious. He's also just seems like a very kind person. He makes some really great movies, and he's just an incredible actor and just creative person. And then Cate Blanchett, I mean, talk about talent. She is so incredibly good. I think she has such an incredible poise. I think she would be just like the perfect, they just would be perfect parents. I don't know what else to say. But those are just my two options. I know that we have a whole world of celebrities out there, a whole world of celebrity couples. So I turn it over to you, fans. Who would you want your celebrity parents to be?
I think if I had to choose, I would choose Will and Jada Smith. I think they're super cool. They're misunderstood, super controversial, and they just seem like cool parents. They seem like they don't always go with the norm, and their kids seem not weird, but very cool. Weird and cool at the same time. And yeah, they just seem like they'll be just fun to hang with. I could talk to if they were my parents. They seem relatable. And they just seem fun to be with. Even though they would be my parents, I think I would want to hang with them. So yeah, I think I would choose Will and Jada Smith. They seem fun.
Nice, great options. I will say, I feel like we get a little bit too much news about the Smiths. I feel like I'm hearing a lot about their relationships. But at least you would know that your dad would be willing to like go to bat for you, go to bat to like protect your reputation. That'd be very nice. And honestly, yeah, like you said, the kids of the Smith family, they are super cool. I love Willow's music. And I think Jaden is also extremely cool. I know that he has like a couple of businesses. So they're all just very successful family members. And you get the sense that like they definitely like being around each other. They would definitely like fight to protect each other, and they really care about each other. So Miss Campbell, great choice.
I choose Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart because I want to be a filmmaker, and I could choose Martin Scorsese or like Steven Spielberg, but I probably wouldn't get along with them. We'd probably bicker. But Dwayne Johnson, I could chill with that guy. I could chill with Kevin Hart. Oh yeah, me and my gay parents. That'd be chill.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, he keeps coming back in these discussions about celebrities. But yeah, they're extremely funny people together. I know that they've done a couple of like buddy cop movies. So They seem like they would be very cool. And also like a lot of good access to the modern film industry. Cause I know you mentioned like Martin Scorsese and Steven Spielberg. They definitely like would give you some great opportunities as a filmmaker. But I feel like if you want to get the big budget, I feel like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Kevin Hart would be good people to have as parents.
Easy, because I think about this way too much. If I were a nepotism baby, my parents would be Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel. Because they are like such a powerhouse couple. They have unlimited money. And you could literally get into any entertainment industry you wanted to with those as your parents. Like, they produce music, movies, television, they have charities, like they do everything. Everyone knows them, and like they also seem really nice. So yeah, Justin Timberlake, Jessica Biel, so that I could be a movie star or a musician without really even having to be talented. I could just do it because my parents do it.
Hey, I'm sure, Aaron, that you would be extremely talented, whatever route you wanted to go. But yeah, that's a good point. I feel like all of our couples so far have been either two actors or two like just famous figures in the same realm. But if you were able to like mix and match, I know that they're, I think, an existing couple. But if you were able to like get a musician and an actor or be able to mix and match it like that, then that would be very useful. So that way you would have a lot of options. Very practical, Aaron.
My parents would be Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively without hesitation. You're basically guaranteed to be attractive unless you get that 1 in 100 chance that you're not, and that is what it is. But you could even be in Marvel movies at some point. You get cool parents. You're not going to be named North or Chicago. So how could you not pick these two?
Yeah. I mean, they are such a glamorous couple. And also, I mean, you would be able to go to the Met Gala with Blake Lively and you would wear easily the best outfits. Ryan Reynolds they are also like constantly making fun of each other on social media. So that would be extremely funny to be a part of their little like their banter. You know, they're always playing pranks on each other. I think they would be like a very good, lighthearted, very fun couple. So Hector, I see that for sure.
So oddball answer, right? First, I'd be adopted, right? And my parents, first celebrity kid, Elon Musk and Charlie Sheen. Could you imagine the affair, the scandal? Nobody knew, but I did. I knew. But yeah, I don't know. I think that'd be kind of interesting. Other than that, I have no interest in having different parents. No, I think that would be pretty hilarious.
That is the most chaotic combination of choices I think that you possibly could have chosen. Like, talk about not having a dull moment in that household. Elon Musk is constantly trying to like invent something new. Charlie Sheen is just going wild. I mean, I don't even know how you would like survive in a household where it just like literally every single day something insane would be happening. You'd constantly be in the news. Also, that'd be kind of fun. Not gonna lie. I would love to like not even be a child, but just like live in that household for a day just to see what it was like. So, Jeremy, that would be an extremely entertaining household. Thank you for that.
The celebrity kid I would love to be is Steve Irwin. I would love to be one of his kids. I've seen what his kids are doing. They're really honoring his legacy. They seem so well-rounded and they seem nice. And they seem really about the mission that their dad had originally set out. And they just look very well-rounded and happy and like they love each other. And I would love to be a part of that family dynamic.
Yeah. Yeah. The Irwin kids, they're so focused on conservation. And like you said, they're really living up to their dad's legacy. And it's really sweet to watch whenever I like see them on the news holding an animal or like being a part of a TV show. I'm like, you're doing great. Good on you. So London, a very sweet answer. And that brings this question or these prompts to a close. Let's vote for your favorite answer right now in the chat. Which celebrity parents would you want to have? You can vote now in the chat by typing vote space and then the number of the answer you love the most, and send your favorite couple to the final round. I don't know who you would possibly vote for, because I feel like every answer sort of had a good part to it. Like London's answer was really sweet. Jeremy's is the definition of chaotic. Aaron's was very practical. Miss Campbell's was also very practical. And then Chris's is just like, it's a very fun answer. Yeah, I don't know. You can't really choose wrong here. Yeah. Yeah, really, it was a really sweet answer. I mean, the Irwin family is really like the family that you'd want to be a part of, because they're the prime celebrity family where they're all famous, but they're also really well loved, and they're like using their fame for good. So I feel like that would just be a very like peaceful family, and a family that would be very easy to join and just be like, I'm good, I'm doing well. Well, thank you so much, London, for this answer. We will see you in the final round, which is coming up soon. But first, we have a poll for this question. We're asking you, which celebrity would you choose to be your parents? Are you thinking the power couple, Beyonce and Jay-Z, any Kardashian? Would you want Michelle and Barack Obama? Or would you want Mark Zuckerberg as your dad? Oh, I don't know. Who are you going to choose? I mean, yeah. I was going to say, I have my answer, and Beyonce and Jay-Z are my answer. I mean, being Blue Ivy, what a world it would be to be Blue Ivy in. I mean, I think she was like cast in the new Lion King movie that's coming out soon. She was like on stage during the Renaissance tour. But also just like the creativity in that family, just so much. There's so much creativity. There's so much star power coming out of just those three people. It would be enough to like power a small city. So I think if you join that family, you would be set for life. I can't even imagine. That'd be so extremely cool. Well, thank you all so much for voting. Yeah, this has been an amazing question. We had some really great answers. I say we move right along to our last question of the week. This is from today. Okay, and we're talking about another avenue to fame, but this time through reality TV. That's right, we're talking, what reality show would you totally win? There's so many good reality shows out there, and so many good reality shows to win and use that win to like catapult yourself into fame. I think for me, I like to think I would stand a good chance doing RuPaul's Drag Race, because that is a show that I really love to watch. And there's just so many good queens on there, but I feel like I have the performance ability. I have some good comedic ability. I'm starting to learn my way around like a sewing machine. So I think maybe give me a couple of months and I'm ready to go on that show, and I'm ready to take the show by storm. I think if that's my delusion talking, I'd probably get in last, but a man can hope, can't he? Well, that's just my answer, though. We have a lot of good reality shows out there and a lot of good ones to win. So fans, I turn it over to you. What reality show would you totally win?
I'd like to believe I would win. Are you smarter than the fifth grader? Because I swear, they do not get those questions from fifth graders, right? Always make it a little bit more impossible. So I'd have a talk with that director beforehand, and I'd win. Oh, I'd win. And I wouldn't even use any of the assists from my fifth grader friends. There's no way they're asking things I only learned in college, right? I think I'd win. Are you smarter than a fifth grader? I think they're a little shady.
Good point. I will say, I feel like there's a lot of things that I learned in elementary school that I just sort of don't remember learning. And so I feel like they sort of float out of my brain. Not saying that the questions aren't hard. I'm just saying maybe they're a little easier because a fifth grader might have just learned them. But yeah, I think if you have that talk, I think, Jeremy, you're going to be a shoo-in for Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
I think I would potentially win Family Feud. I've always liked that show, and it seems easy. It seems like you'd be able to figure out what a lot of people think an answer is for something. Usually common answers. I think I'd win that.
Yeah, that's another good option. I love watching those videos of people who go on that show, and it's like, name an orange fruit, and the person says banana. Where it's like, just how can you even misinterpret the question that badly? But also I feel like that's a component of it, is like stage fright, and everyone seems to think they would do a really good job, but then it's like all it takes is one slip up to completely like ruin your chances. So I would say, I think you would have a really good chance, and it seems easy, but don't discount Family Feud quite so intensely, because you also have to know what everyone else is going to say, not just what you would say, but like what the audience is thinking. So I think it's Family Feud is probably a little harder than people think.
I would totally win The Bachelor. I'm very good at first impressions, I think. And yeah, I would play the game. I would play the game.
That's a good option, because then you also get to go on all of those fun vacations. And I mean, I've always have a plan where I'm like, I want to like get onto the Bachelorette. I think, yeah, the Bachelorette, and like use the opportunity to go on all those different vacations and like see all the sights. But then you have to make sure that you're able to act like, okay, I really want to be here not just to win, but I'm here to find love. Because that's the main way that people get knocked off in that show, is people are like, they're not here for the right reasons. So I would say, Ali, just be ready to fall in love and fall head over heels for whoever is the host of that show.
Probably beat Bobby Flay. I don't know if I can cook better than him, but if I'm on the show, I will. I heard very nice or very not so nice things about him, and I would definitely beat him.
That's a good option. We actually do have another QOTD question, which was, what family recipe would you use to beat Bobby Flay? So the real James, I advise you to go and answer that question. Record your answer so we know what dish you would be making that would completely decimate Bobby Flay. I'd be very curious to know.
What reality TV show would you totally win? This is a no-brainer. The Great Amazing Race. I love that show, and I know I would take home that million. I just can't find anybody to go with me.
Come on, everyone, step up the game. We got to get Elle Holman a partner and get her on The Amazing Race. I will say that sounds very difficult, because if I'm not mistaken, it's like you're running around the world. You're doing all these obstacle courses. You have to solve all these puzzles. So it's really like a game or a competition show that takes from a variety of different skills. But Elle Holman, I absolutely love the confidence. I have complete faith in you. Let's find you a good partner and let's get you on the show.
So I definitely win Love Island, because I fall in love very quickly. And if the right person was also there with me, even if he wasn't forever, I feel like we'd be together for the whole show. So maybe.
Yeah, who knows? I feel like then if you fall in love easily, I feel like you would be good on just any reality dating show, whether it's Love Island, The Bachelor, The Bachelorette. I know that Netflix has a bunch of them. But yeah, Love Island, I feel like you would have to be prepared to really fall head over heels for someone, because they're filming you around the clock. So just make sure that you love someone enough to be ready to talk about how much you like them for probably like a couple of weeks, 24 hours a day. Well, this is an incredible list of reality shows, a good variety here. Vote for your favorite answer in the chat and send someone to the final round. Who do you believe in the most? Which reality show do you like the most? Let's see. Yeah, I find it funny how there were really two sort of dating shows on here. And then it had a good mix of like skill-based or knowledge-based shows. So I feel like, yeah, there's a really good mix in here. I mean, I like to think that I'd be able to game the system on The Bachelorette or Love Island really well, but that's just me. I don't know. Family Feud. Nice, nice. Yeah, I think if you have a good set of people who are sort of at your level of being able to like know what people are going to say, I feel like you would be able to do really well in Family Feud. But once again, we aren't on the show, so it might be harder than it looks, but I can't really say for sure. Rezex Wando, we believe in you, and we wish you luck, and we look forward to seeing you on an episode of Family Feud in the future. Well, this was an incredible question with a lot of great answers, but before we go, I want to turn it over to you fans and ask you a poll. What reality show would you totally win? Would you win Deal or No Deal? Would you win Survivor? Would you win Big Brother? Or would you win The Bachelor, The Bachelorette? Yeah, I feel like these kind of speak to all of the different skills that you would need to win a reality show. So I feel like Survivor is like really physical. Deal or No Deal, the luck-based one. The one that I feel like that one is kind of hard to win. It really just depends on the luck of the draw. So I guess if you believe that you win, I guess it means that you believe that you have really good karma, that things just sort of really work out for you a lot. And someone said in the chat, Ninja Warrior. Yeah, I'm surprised no one in the chat said American Ninja Warrior, because I do feel like that's a very physical sort of reality show. So maybe people need to like bulk up and really get good at the athletic part of it before they go on that show. But we'll see. Maybe someone will log on and be like, hey, I think I'm ready to win American Ninja Warrior. And then we'll be like, we'll vote for you. But this was an incredible set of questions this week. We've actually arrived at the last one. We finished the last one. So that means there is one thing left to do, and that is select a winner. Yes, that is the weekly finale championship round. We've gone through all of the questions. We've selected all of our winners for these questions, and now it is time for them to duke it out to see who will be the weekly QOTD champion. So what we're going to do before we vote is I'm going to do a quick review of all of the winners that we've had so far for the show, and then I'm going to turn it over to you to vote, and you can vote for who had the best answer of the week. So without further ado, let's start that recap.
My first celebrity crush, I would have to say, was Harrison Ford. What Lies Beneath? He's laying in the bed with Michelle Pfeiffer. He's kind of like sitting there on his laptop or reading a book or something. And I don't know how old he was there, probably mid-40s or 50s, but dude was ripped. And I was like, okay, I like that.
Yes, so Bartimus is answering the question, who was your first celebrity crush? And he says Harrison Ford caught his eye.
If I could start a celebrity book club, I think I'd want to do one with Hayao Miyazaki from Studio Ghibli, because he made a movie called House Moving Castle based on a book called House Moving Castle. And I would love to look at the book with him and see what his process was in adapting it, because I think that's kind of one of the best adaptations from book to movie I've ever seen.
True. So Hannah is answering the question, if you could start a celebrity book club, who's in it and what are you reading? And she is saying that she would love to pick Hayao Miyazaki's brain. I think I would also love to do that, honestly.
If I got to be a celebrity, I would definitely want to be one of those mid-tier celebrities that did work with period dramas. I geek out on those, like Rain, Bridgerton. Obviously, everyone loves Bridgerton, but I would love to just be like a smaller, still famous actress that gets to wear those gowns and travel and go to these castles, like every girl's dream. So yeah, I'd want to be famous for being able to act.
Yes, so Sonia is answering the question, if you could be famous for anything, what would you want to be famous for? And she's saying that she is ready to live the full regal, the full regal period fantasy. We support you.
I think I would potentially win Family Feud. I've always liked that show, and it seems easy. It seems like you'd be able to figure out what a lot of people think an answer is for something. Usually common answers. I think I'd win that.
Okay, Rezex Wando is answering the question, what reality show would you totally win? And he's saying that he would absolutely obliterate Family Feud. And I would say, I support you.
I would say Dolly Parton, because every time that I listen to her album, listen to her voice, just kind of reminds me of the good old days that I'm in my grandparents' place.
So Benjamin is answering the question. Let's see, what is it? Oh, yes. If you could have any concert, if heaven was a concert venue, who would be playing at that concert venue? And he's saying that he would love to watch Dolly Parton. And I say, I agree.
The celebrity I want helping me in a zombie apocalypse would 100% have to be Keanu Reeves. Have you seen that man in John Wick? His fighting style, he knows how to use guns, he knows how to do everything. Plus, in real life, he's a pretty good person, so I know he would help me a lot.
Yes, Colade is answering the question. If you could have any celebrity on your zombie apocalypse survival squad, who would you have? And he is tapping into the martial artistry and the great vibes of Keanu Reeves, which I think is an incredible choice.
The celebrity kid I would love to be is Steve Irwin. I would love to be one of his kids. I've seen what his kids are doing. They're really honoring his legacy. They seem so well-rounded and they seem nice and they seem really about the mission that their dad had originally set out. And they just look very well-rounded and happy and like they love each other. And I would love to be a part of that family dynamic.
Yes, so London is answering the question. If you could have any celebrity as your parents, who would you want to have? And she's saying that she would want to join into the Irwin clan. She supports their missions of conservation and protecting the environment. And honestly, I see it. They're so cool. I love them. Well, this is an incredible set of answers. It's now unfortunately time to vote for just one of them. Only one can be crowned the QOTD Weekly Champion. So vote for your favorite answer in chat by typing vote space and then the answer you love the most. And that person will be the ultimate winner of the week. Wow, so many good answers. So many good questions this week. I think we covered a huge swath of celebrity culture and we have a bunch of great celebrities to choose from. I don't know how people are going to be able to choose. London, congratulations. Yes, so London is the winner. She says that she would want to be a part of the Urban family. And honestly, I think they really speak to the best that celebrity culture can produce, because they are such nice people. They use their platform really well. They're famous for a really good reason. And I just think that the Urban family legacy is going to be continuing on for a long while, and they will be remembered very fondly. But that is the end, unfortunately, of Celebrity Week. I think we had some really incredible questions. Thank you all so much for submitting your answers and for letting us know your thoughts. But with the end of one week becomes the beginning of another one. That's right, we have another week of amazing QOTD questions, all centered around a new theme. And that theme is music. Yes, next week we're talking all about our favorite music. There are so many movie musicals and so many movies having to do with music coming out, from Moana 2, the second Joker movie, Joker Folie à Deux. We have the Wicked movie, another Lion King movie, and we even have Smile 2, which focuses on a musician. So I think if there's a time to talk about music and musicians, I think now is the perfect time. So I'm really excited for next week's questions. We got a really great set of questions talking about your favorite musicians, your favorite musical experiences, your favorite genres of music, and the music that you would like to do if you were able to. So this is a really incredible week. But I think I'm going to give you a little bit more because we have the theme, but we also, I think we should talk about what tomorrow's question is so you all can get a head start. Tomorrow's question is, what is your guilty pleasure song or album? I know we all have one. It's okay. I think tomorrow we're going to be very vulnerable talking about the music that we all secretly love, that we love to blast in our headphones and dance to when no one's watching. So I know that I'm definitely going to be trying to submit a recording. And I know we have a bunch of great answers already. So definitely send those in. And that question will officially be available tonight at midnight on QOTD.beyondtheair.com. Remember, everyone, you can play QOTD at any time. You can watch our 24/7 live show. You can vote for your favorite answers on that. You can record your answer to any question. You are able to go to we have like 14 each day, but you can also just find any of the ones that you want to on that website. And you can also play any of our other Be on the Air games, including our play along games and our Sketch the Cat game, which both of them are extremely fun. Definitely check those out. And finally, be sure to subscribe to get tomorrow's announcement tomorrow at 9 a.m. And get more QOTD content in your feed on YouTube. Thank you all so much again for an amazing week and an amazing show. And I cannot wait to see you all on TV. Bye, everyone. See you soon.